Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I am really glad you're here. Today's date is Sunday, June 4th, 2023. And in this video, I want to take a look at someone who has left Hollywood and is distancing himself from that Hollywood scene. And let's see what the universe has to tell us about that person now. I'm speaking of Mark Wahlberg. Here's the article I'm going to share with you that started me on a hunt. We'll look at that article, which is also linked into the compilation I have. And let's look at his life and career a little bit before we get into the cards and see if we should be giving him some validity for the family values and faith that he is now speaking of as being important in his life. 1 second. Okay, here was the June 3rd article. The Christian actor Mark Wahlberg to create Hollywood 2.0 announces location of new studio. All right, then I started looking at Mark Wahlberg. Now, he's easy on the eyes. That was easy to do. And I'm not saying he's not. Here he is in a recent Ash Wednesday interview talking about his family, his faith, and values. Seems to be very family oriented. Now, remember, he started off at age 13 in the music industry. And it's hard to believe that a pretty face in the music industry or entertainment industry as a whole could avoid the notice of some pretty awful people. Okay. In 1992, he expanded into he got a Calvin Klein underwear modeling endorsement. And then from there, his singing career ended in 97. And by 2017, once he moved into movies, he was the highest paid actor in 2017, highest paid male actor. Now, even today, he is still in the top 10. I'm getting to a compilation here. Here's the article I first showed you, talking about, they're labeling him Christian. So what they're saying there is trust him, he has Christian values. Okay. And then it's interesting to note, he was supposed to have been on one of the flights that went down on 9/11. He even had to later apologize for this interview where he talked about how he would have been able to stop it and land the plane if he'd been on there. And it's interesting that he is one of a couple of entertainers who are now very highly paid who avoided being on those flights that day. Was it because of insider information? I don't know. Okay, here's a list, shows him still the highest paid one of the highest paid actors, even today. Now, this was a discussion group from a discussion group, and people were talking about, should we trust him? Are his values really as strong and firm as he's talking about? I went to Wikipedia. The man's got several hate crimes in his past as a young person, and people can change. Okay, but the hate crimes, the temper, I don't know. Anyway, so one statement that resonated with me from it on was that I'm very distrustful of the entire group. Remaining skeptical of people, even those that claim to be MAGA, is the best defense. Analyze statements and actions. So in other words, yes, look at what they're saying and then their actions, and are they aligning? Right now, Mr. Wahlberg's do seem to be aligning. He seems to be living a life, at least in the public eye, that aligns with his values and his faith. Although I just thought it was a little too convenient that he did that interview with the ash cross on his head on Ash Wednesday. But oh well, I'm not going to fault him for trying to take advantage of a publicity possibility. He is, after all, in the public eye as an entertainer. Now, another Anon said, it used to make practical sense for the majority of movies to be made in one city, especially when Westerns were king and could be shot on location just a few miles outside of Los Angeles. But jet travel, green screen, and the internet have changed things so drastically, the Hollywood system isn't needed anymore. Most Hollywood movies aren't even shot in Hollywood anymore. They're often shot in places like Georgia for tax breaks. So why even produce them from Hollywood offices anymore? Or let's extend that. Why even produce them from Las Vegas offices anymore? Because for the tax breaks, they are usually shot on location elsewhere, and then there's so much green screen. I included one of his videos so you can see him back in his singing days. I looked at that video with the sound off, looking for symbolism, didn't catch anything that was overt, but I don't claim to be, that's not my highest skill set. So take it for what it's worth. So anyway, like I said, he's a pretty boy. He's always been pretty. And he went into business at age 13, which for people who have a fondness for young and innocent people, that's kind of a prime age. So it's hard for me to believe, like I said, that he avoided the eye and attentions of evildoers. And his continued and ongoing success hints at that possibility too. But it is just a possibility. So I want to ask the cards carefully, because it's possible that he's been the original one who in Wikipedia has the hate crime background, and so that he's not even the original anymore. So let's just ask for the one that's acting in his place with his full authority right now. So we're going to ask the universe, the person seen in the public eye is entertainer Mark Wahlberg. How genuine are the family and faith values he's talking about so publicly now? And insights and information about anything in his life that impacts his professional and public persona. So his personal is going to lead over into it. We don't have to do an expose of his personal life. We can ask how those are going to affect the professional, and this is for the one seen in the public eye. Okay, 1 second. Let's see what the cards have to tell us. Okay, the person seen in the public eye is entertainer Mark Wahlberg. We'd like to know how sincere these family and faith values he's talking about now are, including insights on why he is distancing himself from Hollywood, what his real motives and agenda are. Just let the insights and information flow. Okay, judgment. The magician. I'll tell you why I'm laughing. Judgment card usually makes me laugh. Okay, we have the 8 of Pentacles. We have the 6 of Cups, 9 of Cups, Hanged Man, 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3 major arcanas out of the first 7 cards. Statistically, again, that's a significant number, since they usually are only about 25% of the deck. So, judgment. The person seen in the public eye as Mark Wahlberg is no longer the original model. Okay, he did get caught up in those things, and he has been dealt with and processed. They've manifested a new one. That new one is enjoying the a much cleaner success. So we are seeing a Mark Wahlberg, someone playing him or a clone of him, which or a double is playing the part of him and doing quite well at it. Okay, skilled labor. In recent past, they worked hard and studied hard to become that person seen in the public eye as Mark Wahlberg, but the original again is gone. Currently, we have the 6 of Cups, a card of reconciliation. So they are having this actor playing the part of Mark Wahlberg, play the part of a Mark Wahlberg with family values and faith values. Okay, but let's look ahead and see what's going on here. The Knight of Cups, not a white hat card. He's usually he usually indicates some false promises and some fraud. Okay, so we are being told to believe that he is he's a new man, which kind of literally is. But it's not, because the original one had a come to Jesus moment and matured in his faith and in his values and got his life in order. Okay, not at all. Okay. And he's been forced to, or compelled to, make the statements he's making and have the public perception he's making. And I think that the both sides, the white hats and the dark hats, are looking to see if there's some receptivity to the thought of a Hollywood 2.0 in Las Vegas. But again, with the green screens and tax breaks for shooting on other locations, there's no need to be a Hollywood anywhere. Not at all. Let's get a couple more cards for insights and see what this Mark Wahlberg 2.0, we want us to know about it. Yep, white hats are having him, are active on it. Strength card, another major arcana. Knight of Pentacles, Temperance. Okay, let's keep looking here because this is interesting. All right, so this is telling me these two cards coming up again. These are all the near future, you know, moving into the future, less insightful from this and this one. Okay, so these two, the Knight of Swords, that's one of my prime White Hats Alliance cards. So that's telling me that some of what he's being due is at their behest. Okay, and the Strength card shows up and the Temperance card. So he is, I probably maybe shouldn't have done this video. He's a well-crafted spokesperson, and he's playing a role for the White Hats that they needed him to play. The Knight of Pentacles is a card of stability. Temperance says, with moderate expectations, you know, all is well. So let's go to the recap. Okay, let's recap. We were asking about Mark Wahlberg. He is currently in the public eye, making a lot of public appearances where he talks about his family values, how important his faith is, and how he is trying to start a Hollywood 2.0 in Las Vegas. And so we asked about him. We looked a little bit into his past because he has been in the entertainment industry since age 13. So when he was 13, and at that time he was, and then he sang, he was a rapper. Then he got a Calvin Klein modeling contract and slowly worked into films, and is now one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. We are about to have a visitor on camera because I'm late feeding somebody dinner. So I'm just going to keep going. And if the cat shows up, the cat shows up. Okay. Now, to my surprise, did kind of get a confirmation that the original Mark Wahlberg was involved with some stuff and is no longer with us. They've made a new one come on the scene. And that new one is being controlled opposition by the White Hats, I guess is the nice way to put it. And I said I almost regretted doing this because they felt like he was a good candidate to be that spokesperson, to be showing someone who has long time been, is slowly distancing himself from the Hollywood scene. And I think he was chosen to kind of get our beloved normies perception of why we're moving away from Hollywood. And they thought he was a really good, strong candidate for that. They're going to have to kind of moderate some of their expectations because there's just too many people like you and I who look at things beyond the surface and look a little deeper. So we see things that weren't maybe supposed to be evident and won't be for the normies. So for the normies, they're just going to see that the Hollywood culture and scene is kind of a thing of the past and moving on to other locations. And that Mark Wahlberg has matured into a man with good family values and a strong faith life. And indeed, whoever is playing that part may have those values. I don't think so, because we had this show up for the near future, again, directly speaking to whoever this is. And this is a card that shows some false promises and fraud. So he's playing a part. He plays it well. Am I still going to watch movies occasionally that he's in? Absolutely. am I going to let him give me any guidance and insights into values, into family values, faith values? No, he's an entertainer. He's a pretty face, or he was. And he makes decent movies that are sometimes fun to watch, and that's the extent of it. So he's not going to be our guru and our advisor, or not mine anyway. But he can still entertain. That's no problem about that. Okay, well, that's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time and attention. I appreciate it very much. I apologize that we had a cat in the background, and I'll feed her as soon as I stop this, so she won't be feeling neglected and put upon. And I thank you for your time. And until next time, I send you love and light and wish you all things bright.